While some might argue that rather than it being cultural appropriation, K-pop's use of Black culture and styles is a form of appreciation. Some point out that appreciation requires a level of consciousness and acknowledgement, which is hard to gauge given K-pop's lack of accountability. Hello besties, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I've posted a video, but I've been having a nasty creative slump, and it doesn't help that the YouTube algorithm mostly favors those with a large platform, which is very discouraging, especially if you're not sure if a video you've worked hard on will get shown to people. But one of my alt groups, Lesserafim, is having a comeback which is doing so well that it's causing a lot of discord and backlash. The same K-pop fans who were token-standing Lesserafim just to shit on newgens are now turning on them and trying to sabotage their growth in the industry. The song that's causing so much discourse is their B-side Smart, that sounds like a fusion of Amapiano and Afrobeats, two of the most popular African music genres. There are a lot of non-African K-pop fans who are trying to get Lesserafim dragged by Africans who like gatekeeping their music and accusing the group of cultural appropriation. Even though it's not working, the discourse is inspiring me to talk about the growing trend of Afrobeats and now Amapiano in K-pop. Because Lesserafim is not the first K-pop act or group to make a song with African genres, it's been a thing since Burna Boy and Davido went mainstream, maybe even earlier. But before I continue with my thoughts on how I feel about the rising trend of Afrobeats and Amapiano in K-pop, I first have to explain what those two genres are and why so many people are mad at Lesserafim and HYBE for capitalizing on the two most popular African music genres. Afrobeats is an umbrella term to describe popular music from West Africa and the diaspora that initially developed in Nigeria, Ghana, and the UK in the 2000s and 2010s. It is made up of genres such as hiplife, a Ghanaian musical style that fuses Ghanaian culture, and hip-hop, juju, which is a style of Yoruba popular music derived from traditional Yoruba percussion, and highlife, which is characterized by jazzy horns and guitars that is typical of African music. Afrobeats began to experience widespread global mainstream acclaim in the late 2010s, with artists such as Burna Boy, Tiwa Savage, Davido, Tems, and Wizkid achieving success across Africa, Europe, and North America, prompting Afrobeats to be referred to as one of Africa's biggest cultural or musical exports. On the other hand is Amapiano, loosely translated to the pianos, which is a subgenre of house music that emerged in South Africa in the mid-2010s. It is a hybrid of deep house, jazz, and lounge music characterized by synths and wide percussive bass lines. In 2019, the genre experienced increased popularity across the African continent, with noted increases in digital streams and chart successes in countries far from its South African origin. The genre was popular amongst young people from 2020 and beyond on social media platforms like TikTok, where videos using Amapiano music were uploaded, which fueled the dancing scene in South Africa. In October 2023, the Amapiano song Water by South African singer Tyla gained international prominence following a viral Bacardi dance challenge on social media. Bacardi is a South African dance style that involves intricate legwork, belly dancing, twerking, and more, set to Amapiano music. Water became the first song by a South African soloist to enter the US Billboard Hot 100 in 55 years, and was a top 10 hit in the United Kingdom, Ireland, Australia, the Netherlands, Sweden, and New Zealand, where it reached number 1. As I'm making this video, Tyla won a Grammy for her hit song, making her the youngest South African to bring home a Grammy. Her rise in the charts as well as internationally is why there are now a lot of artists and DJs who are jumping on the Amapiano bandwagon, some with more success than others. Now that you know what those two genres are and how they differ in origin and sound, I want to explain where I think the backlash is coming from. On the 6th of February, the Lesserafim Instagram page posted a series of pictures of models wearing and advertising their merch, and since the model that was front and center was black, their comments were flooded with racist K-pop fans who were mad that Lesserafim was working with black people. Even though the model did a good job in promoting the clothes and also fit the Lesserafim concept, that still didn't stop the K-pop fans from being racist and saying things like "keep K-pop Korean," despite the fact that Lesserafim has 2 Japanese members. When Lesserafim did their comeback showcase and Smart started going viral, there were people who were using the fact that Lesserafim used the 2 most popular African genres to mock the Keep K-pop Korean crowd, while others were pointing out the obvious cash grab of the song. There were also some people who were weirded out by how the girls were saying Smart, while others were just mad that K-pop has found a new black genre to exploit without giving credit. The backlash that made the most sense to me was from the South Africans who were feeling some type of way about K-pop fans not acknowledging Amapiano when talking about this song, because the song is not just Afrobeats. South Africans are already feeling some type of way about other Africans trying to claim Amapiano as their own. So when people don't acknowledge the influence of both Amapiano and Afrobeats in the song, it does both genres a disservice and makes the backlash against Lesserafim last way longer than it should. Cultural appropriation is described as taking one aspect of a culture that is not your own and using it for your own personal interest, while cultural appreciation can be described as a way of honoring another culture through exploration and seeking an understanding as a way to honor that culture, beliefs, and traditions. An easy way to remember the difference between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation is to remember that cultural appreciation is about honoring a culture, whereas cultural appropriation is dishonoring or demeaning a culture. Cultural appropriation in K-pop has been a thing since the inception of the genre. Within K-pop, blackface, mouthing or saying racial slurs, and purely aesthetic uses of black culture and hairstyles have been a common thing since the first generation of K-pop. While some might argue that rather than it being cultural appropriation, K-pop's use of black culture and styles is a form of appreciation, some point out that appreciation requires a level of consciousness and acknowledgement, which is hard to gauge given K-pop's lack of accountability. Whether K-pop groups diversifying their music and using African genres like Afrobeats and Amapiano is appropriation or appreciation depends on whether the originators are given credit and are also involved behind the scenes. Some groups and soloists do a good job in giving credit where it's due, but they are the exception, not the rule, which is why there will always be backlash when idols do genres from other countries until credit being given is the norm. Like I mentioned in the intro, Lesserafim is one of my alt groups, so when I listened to the Smart preview I was a bit weary, because Amapiano and Afrobeats are such niche sounds and I didn't want to hear my favorite group butcher a sound from my home country, South Africa. So glad that the girls didn't disappoint, because Smart is now one of my favorite songs of 2024. However, I don't speak for all Africans, especially because my views on African-inspired K-pop songs usually get influenced by whether I like the group or not, which isn't a very fair way to judge things. I'm sure there are some African people who are mad at K-pop for exploiting Afrobeats and now Amapiano, and they have the right to do that. It's no secret that K-pop, especially Hype, has been trying to make more moves in the West and drop the K from K-pop. Since the West has been vibing to Afrobeats and Amapiano more than K-pop, companies have had to amend their strategies and evolve their sound so K-pop doesn't get left behind. Which is why we're gonna be getting more African and Latin-inspired K-pop songs until another genre goes viral in the West.